Trevor Henderson is a writer and an artist, specializing in fantastical, mystical themes, monsters, and ghosts. His passion and love for this mystical world are immense. The photos Trevor creates have become extremely famous, and I believe horror fans have at least seen them once. The most famous among them is Siren Head, a tall, skinny monster, with a head that is a pair of sirens. It is an entity that is often heard, more than seen, due to its nature. It can easily blend into a forest, or even an urban setting, with its tall, slender body. Siren Head often uses its ability to mimic voices, to lure and mislead victims. People who encounter it often disappear without a trace. Hello, it's me again, and today, we will delve into Siren Head, a fictional entity created by Trevor Henderson, that is extremely realistic and spine-chilling, as well as his most famous character. The stories about the creatures, created by Trevor Henderson, are not overly complex, but they are enough to give most people, who know about them, goosebumps. Perhaps a significant contribution comes from the photos, edited and created by Trevor, extremely realistic, making viewers confused when they know these images and creatures are not real, yet they are haunted by the thought, what if they are real? What if this creature is really in my house? What if something is standing in a hidden corner of the room, watching me, right now? Indeed, creatures created by Trevor Henderson do not simply exist in the hidden corners of this world. They exist. They like to harm humans. Siren Head not only can mimic the sound of sirens, radio broadcasts, and fire alarms, but it also stores and replays the sounds from the last moments of its victims. Siren Head often lurks in dense forests or deserted roads, stalking lost people, and even children. Cries for help you hear at night could entirely be made by Siren Head to lure you into its trap. Siren Head is famous for its towering height, about 40 feet, and its iconic siren head, replacing its head. This creature is known to be very aggressive and will hunt humans like prey. It usually roams around rural towns and forests. Its limbs are disproportionately long and thin, with arms nearly the length of its entire body, ending in large, bony hands. Where a human's head and neck would be, there's a pool made of flesh, with two sirens attached, facing opposite directions, with some black wires wrapped around the neck and upper shoulders. The sirens are connected to the neck with skin tendons, and can rotate like an owl's head. Although it has no eyes, it can still see, and it has the ability to control technology by emitting sounds through electronic devices. It spends most of its time standing still, but can move very quickly. Siren Head's victims are found with ruptured eyes, eardrums, gums, and sinuses, bleeding profusely. Weapons like arrows or spears are generally ineffective against this entity. Here are some photos of Siren Head, captured and posted online by Trevor Henderson, along with their content. Siren Head was first seen in 1966, when a family vacationing in the Arizona desert captured an image of the creature in a cemetery. 20 years later, on July 16, 1995, Chad and his friends were hiking in the Tannery Creek area, where they found Siren Head lurking. According to Chad, his friend was grabbed by something huge, striding through the trees, mimicking their voices. Chad was found alive, with some injuries, while his friends had disappeared, taken or killed by Siren Head. A photo taken in Indiana, where citizens began mysteriously disappearing, shows Siren Head on the street. However, these encounters are not the first discoveries of Siren Head. Ancient rock paintings depicting Siren Head have been found across North America. This suggests that Siren Head is not a new species on Earth, but has been here for a very long time. On the evening of September 18, 2018, a family of 4 disappeared from their suburban home, without any signs of forced entry. Neighbors reported the family's disappearance after seeing the back door wide open. If you think the oldest photo of Siren Head is from 1966, you're wrong. Here is a photo from a logging site in the Huron-Manistee National Forest, Michigan, in 19. Look closely to see if you can spot anything unusual. The disappearances share 2 commonalities. The victims were walking along the roadside, returning home from work or a public place, and it was always late at night, when people started wondering why they hadn't returned. They vanished after dark. When the street lights were turned on, in this photo, you can see that the entity's head is no longer Siren's, but a light. This leads many to believe that Siren Head can change its body parts to blend into the environment more easily, and that the Siren Head shape is not its mandatory form. Here is a photo from a phone left behind by a father and son who disappeared during a camping trip at Yellowstone National Park on July 14, 2016. Many residents of this neighborhood were awakened late at night while sleeping, complaining about siren sounds and broadcast announcements echoing from across the lake. At 3 a.m. on May 6, 2016, a diary entry was written. They appear every night, when I am the only one still awake, walking around the hospital buildings, as if they are gliding, their limbs swaying like seaweed in the water, when pushed by the current. Am I the only one seeing them? Photo taken from a parking lot. We heard the sound it made long before, approaching the hill, and seeing it standing completely still. I knew it was watching me, even though it didn't have eyes. When I turned back to look, there was only an empty space, where trees once were. Something had moved when I turned my back to it. Many people have disappeared. A significant number of the population in this area were found dead in their homes or on nearby roads, with all corpses having ruptured eardrums. I have seen many things while driving cross-country. Sometimes, when I get blurry-eyed, I see strange things, but this thing looked like someone built it out there, like a giant scarecrow, standing quite close to the road. Though I still couldn't see it clearly, and when I returned via the same road, it had vanished. Several empty graves were discovered at Mount Pleasant Cemetery, along with very unusual traces. Police are still investigating further. I heard the tornado siren wailing last night, as strong winds slammed against my window, trying to push it open. But when I asked around, no one else heard anything. The sound echoed through the forest, causing animals to flee their homes. The sound grew louder, coming closer to you. A photo found in a book, in a house in the woods. Photo taken from the back seat of a car, leaving the city, never to return. An alarm siren at midnight, stirring birds from their nests. A strong wind, slamming against the windows of small houses, suddenly stopping as quickly as it began, leaving only a distant ringing, and dogs barking throughout the small town. So what is Siren Head? Siren Head is the embodiment of anxiety, fear, panic, distress, and chaos. Its physical characteristics convey all these feelings. Siren Head uses its sirens to signal to its victims that they cannot escape, sounding an alarm of impending disaster, with a terrible outcome that the victims cannot avoid. So the next time you step outside, cherish the safety you have, because Siren Head could be lurking somewhere, ready to take you, or your loved ones, away.